So, I've got another one. I would like to read The Hoose at Pooh's Neuk by A.A.Milne. See how that goes. Translated into Scots by James Robertson. And here are the characters. It's just a funny picture. It says hee-haw, tiger with two E's, tiger, roo, kinga, hoodle, hoot, right? Hoodle, that's the owl, rabbit, wee grumpy, that's piglet, Pooh, stayed the same, and Christopher Robin. So, it's just an introduction. Where intil a hoose is bigot at Pooh's Neuk for a hee-haw. Yin day when Pooh Bear had nothing else to do, he thought he would do something, so he gaed round to wee Grumpy's house to see what wee Grumpy was a-doing. It was a snine as he tracked o'er the white forest track, and he thought he would find wee Grumpy baking his toast for anent his fire, so in front of the fire. But he was dumbfoundered to see that the door was open, and the mare he kicked, ben the mare wee Grumpy wasn't there. "He's out," said Pooh, winsomely. "That's what it is. He's not in. I'll head to ging for a quick thinking. Stravik me muscle. Och, jinx!" But first he thought he would chop off a load just to make gay share, and while he waited on wee Grumpy no to answer, he loped up and down, keeping up warm, and home coming to his hut. The sudden he seemed to him a good hum, sick as he'd a hum in a canty we to others. The mare it snaws, tiddly-pum, the mare it falls. Tiddly-pum, the mare it falls, tiddly-pum, it's lying, and it's Mabel of Faz, tiddly-pum. But who can't Metes tiddly-pum? Who could Metes tiddly-pum are staying? Say what he'll do. He knows what he'll do, said Pooh, is I'll do this. I'll just ging ham, so heim, that's like heim, it's like German, heim first, and see what time it is, and maybe I'll put a gravet round my neck, and sing, I'll ower to see hee-haw, and sing it to him. He breechled, no, I don't think that's right, he breechled back to his own house, and on the way his mind was that ta'en up wi' the hum that he was a-making up for wee hee-haw, that when he suddenly saw wee Grumpy sitting in his best armchair, he couldn't believe anything, that's so funny, like anything, anything, but stand there scarting his head and wondering was who's he was in. "Hullo, wee Grumpy," he said, "I thought ye were out." "No," said wee Grumpy, "is it yourself that was out, Pooh?" It was you that was out, Pooh. "So it is," said Pooh. "I kent it was yen o' us." I knew it was one of us. Kent is like Hebrew, like Cana. Okay. He kicked up at his knock, so he went to go knock at the knocker, that had stopped at 5 minutes to 11. some weeks since. Gay near 11 o'clock. It's about 11 o'clock, say Pooh glibly. You're just in time for a wee bit or something. And he put his head into the press and saying, we'll go out and sing my song ta hee-haw. Which song, Pooh? The one we're gonna sing ta hee-haw, explained Pooh. The knock was and saying 5 minutes to 11 when Pooh and wee Grumpy set out on their way humph on a after. The wind had dropped and the snow, scattered we bringing and birling about, eating to catch up with itself. No flochtert doos like until it found a place it could rest, and sometimes place with Pooh's neb, and sometimes it wasna. So wasna is wasn't. And in a wee while we Grumpy was wearing a white gravat round his neck and feeling more snowy a hint the lugs that he'd ever felt afore. So here you can see they're walking around. Yeah, you see it? Great. Okay, so Pooh, he said at last, and wee bit a blade like, for he didn't want Pooh to think he was again in, so he didn't want to give up. I was just wondering who would it be if we gan ham no and practice your song and sing a song it a hee-haw the morn or the day after, when we happen to see him again. Nah, that's an awfully good idea, wee Grumpy, said Pooh. We'll practice it no as we donner along. Donner along is like to walk along. Donner along, I've got to find the place. There it is. But it's not good gone ham to practice it, because it's a special out and about song that has to be sung in the snow. Are you sure? Spied wee Grumpy scarily. Well, we'll see, wee Grumpy, when ye listen, because this is who it starts. The mare it snows, tiddly-pum. Tiddly-wit, said wee Grumpy. Pum, said Pooh. I peeled it in to mark in a mare hummy. So he wants to make it more like hummable. The mare it falls, tiddly-pum. The mare, did you not say snaz? Aye, but that was afore the tiddly-pum. Yin was a different tiddly-pum, said Pooh, feeling a wee bit rumfeezled noo. I sing it till you richt through and soon you'll see, and soon you'll see, and soon you'll see. So he sang it again. The mare it snaws, tiddly-pum. The mare it falls, tiddly-pum. The mare it falls, tiddly-pum. It's lying, and it's maybe a face a tiddly-pum. But who could me taste tiddly-pum? Who could me taste tiddly-pum or staying? He sang it like yon, which is for an hour. And the best way to sing it in a fair ye finished. He waited on wee Grumpy to say that that out and about homes in a snowy weather he had ever heard. This yen was the best. And after hearing a long and canny pence about the matter, wee Grumpy said, Pooh, he said thoughtfully, it is not a taste so muckle as the looks. Looks is looks. But this time they were getting gay near to hee-haw's strike place, which was where he stayed, and it is a awfully snowy a hint wee Grumpy's looks, and he was a scannerin' we eat they turned into a wee pine weed. A wee pine weed is a wee pine woods, and sat themselves down, and yet that led into it. They were out, and the snow was no, but we's fell cold, and they keep themselves fae chittering, so chittering, that's shivering, chittering. They chanted. Pooh sang richt through 6 times. Sax, S-A-X, is 6. 6 times. We grumpy dain na tiddly palms and Pooh dain rest o it. And both of them a dingen a tap or yet we bits o stick and a richt places. And in we, while they felt a sicht mild warm, and were able to speak again. I have been thinking, said Pooh. And what have you been thinking is this? I have been thinking about Hee-Haw. What about Hee-Haw? Well, poor Hee-Haw, he has no bitter biding. What? No, he does not, said wee Grumpy. You ha a house, wee Grumpy, and I ha a house, and they're awfully bra houses. And Christopher Robin has a house, and Hewlett and Kinga has, and Rabbit ha a houses, and even Rabbit's friends and family ha houses or somethings, and poor Hee-Haw has nothing. Say what I've been thinking is, let's beg him a house. That, said wee Grumpy, is a grand idea. Where will we beg it? We'll beg it here, said Pooh, just by this wood, out of the wind, because here's where I thought to it, and we'll cry this Pooh's Neuk. Cry is to call it, cry it. And we'll beg a Hee-Haw house with sticks at Pooh's Neuk for Hee-Haw. Isn't it nice? There was a wrickle of sticks on the t'other side of the wood, and said wee Grumpy. I saw them, hundreds of them, all wrickled up. Thank ye, wee Grumpy, said Pooh. What ye have just tells me will be a muckle help to us, and on account of it, I could cry this place Pooh and wee Grumpy's Neuk. That's really fast, like Pooh and wee Grumpy's Neuk. So, if Pooh's Neuk did not sound better, which it does, and it's tickter and mayor like a Neuk, let's over. So here, you can look at it. That's nice, right? So, say the cam down often yet and guides round to the t'other side of the wood and to uplift the sticks. Christopher Robin had spent the morning ben the houses to build the house, gone to Africa and back, and he was just after getting off the boat and wondering what like it was ought to be, and we should come chapping at the door, but Hee-Haw, who should chap in at the door? Hullo, Hee-Haw, said Christopher Robin, as he opened the door and came out. Who's your soul? It's I snowing, said Hee-Haw, in a dry voice. Say it is, and freezing. Aye, it is. Aye, said Hee-Haw. Whoever, he said. Britain a we've no had earth tumbler like this wee while. A wee while is like a little while. What's the matter, Hee-Haw? Nathan, Christopher Robin. Nothing to fash about. Fash is to complain. Fash. You're fashing. What you're fashing about? Yeah. You wouldn't ha seen sick a thing as a house anywhere about, would ye? What kind of hoose? Just a hoose. What bide is there? I do. I do. At least I thought I did, but I don't. I did. After all, we canna hi. That's really weird. Hooses. But hee-haw, I did not ken. Ken is to know. It's also Hebrew. Same word. I thought. I didn't ken which way it is, Christopher Robin, but why this sna and yin thing and the thither, tai say, nothing o ice shockers and sick like. It is not just say heads. In my fields about 3 o'clock in the morning, as some folk think. It is not close if you can what I mean. No say a wit, pit ye in a steer. It is not sweltering. In fact, Christopher Robin, he get on in a loud whisper. Loud whisper is a loud whisper. Just atween Ursels and dinner. Let on to nobody. It could. Let on to nobody is don't tell anybody. Hee haw. And I said to myself, the others will be that vexed if I'm getting myself awkward. They didn't have brains, only of him. Ein graham oos that's blown into their heads by mistake, and they didn't think, but it carries on snowing for another 6 weeks or thereafter. Yen of them will start to say to himself, hee-haw, canna say offy muckle over hit about 3 o'clock in the morning, and soon it will get about, and they'll be vexed. Hee-haw, said Christopher Robin, feeling gay vexed already. I'm no meaning yourself, Christopher Robin. You're different. Say the upcome o' it is a bit that a bigot muscle a hoose done by ma weeds bit wit. Did ye indeed? Who bra is yon? The really bra bit, said hee-haw. The bra bit is bright wide, big. The really bra bit, said hee-haw, in his most dulcet voice. A really bra bit, like that, right? Is that when I left this morning it was there, and when I come back it was, nah? It's nothing to fash about, nothing out o' the ordinary, and with ainly he has hoose. But still I just wondering. Christopher Robin did not think about to wonder. He was already back in his house, putting on his waterproof bonnet. A bonnet is a hat, bonnet. His waterproof bits are boots, and his waterproof jacket is a jacket, and as fast as he could. Well, and look for it, the new, he called out to hee-haw. Sometimes, said hee-haw, when folk are done with the talking and chisels hoose, there's yin and 2 bits they didn't want, and they're gay glad for a chisel to talk back, if you can what I mean about. Say, I thought it was just gate. Come on, said Christopher Robin, and they breaked off, and in a wee while they rexed to the nook o' the field aside the pine weeds, where hee-haw's house was no on mere. So he didn't have a house anymore, did he? There's no, said hee-haw, not a stick o' it left. Not one stick left. Mind, there's I o' this snow for to do with. I like we so he doesn't have any sticks what he could do with it. I shouldna grin. But Christopher Robin wasn't paying ony heed. He didn't pay him any mind to hee-haw. He was a-listening to something either. Can ye hear yon? He spied. What is it? Somebody laughing? Listen. They both listened, and they heard a deep garly voice saying in the sing-sangy way that the mair it snawed, the mair it fawed, and a wee weepling voice tiddly-pommin' atwixt and atween. Yon's Pooh, said Christopher Robin, a kittled up. Maybe, said Hee-Haw. And we grumpy, said Christopher Robin, mair kittled up. Maist likely, said Hee-Haw. Wit, he could off a day with his well-trained bloodhound. The words of the song changed a sudden. We bigot our hoose, said the girly voice. Tiddly-pom, said the wheelie voice. It's a bonny braw hoose, tiddly-pom. I wish it was mine, tiddly-pom. Pooh, Christopher Robin gollered. The singers on yet strapped I at wings. It's Christopher Robin, said Pooh glibly. He's ruined at the bit. Where he lifted all the sticks fae, said we grumpy. Come on, said Pooh. They glimmered down af their yet and bristled round the outside of the wood. Pooh making who are ye sons I the way. Well, and here's hee-haw and aw, said Pooh. After he'd a hug off Christopher Robin, and he dunced you grumpy, and we grumpy dunched him, and they thought into themselves, yeah. With a broad treat they had already. Hullo, hee-haw. Say to yourself, Pooh Bear, and twice on Thursdays hee-haw glunched. Afore Pooh could say, what for Thursdays? Christopher Robin started to explain, and the wearisome tale of hee-haw's forerunner hoose. And now Christopher Robin tells about the hee-haw doesn't have house, and Pooh and wee grumpy listened, and their een seemed to get mair and mair muckle. They're more and more confused. Where did you say it was? Spied Pooh. Just here, said hee-haw. Bigot with stakes, aye. Oh, so, I think I know what's going to happen. Probably this Pooh Bear, he's taking the sticks from the old house and he's going to put it to the new house. Let's see. Bigot with sticks, aye. Oh, said wee grumpy. Wait, said hee-haw. I just said oh, said wee grumpy scarily. Auntie let on that he was quite yoke about often. He bumped tiddly-pom once and twice in a little weird kind of way. Are you sure it was a hoose? Said Pooh. I mean, you're sure the hoose was just here? I'm certain sure, said hee-haw, and he mumbled to himself. No brain at all, some of them. No brains at all, said some of them. That's just typical. What's the matter, Pooh? Speared Christopher Robin. Well, said Pooh. The thing is, said Pooh. Well, the thing is, said Pooh. You see, said Pooh. It's like this, said Pooh, and something seemed to tell him that he was no explaining awfully well, and he gave wee grumpy another ditch. So, it's like this, said wee grumpy glibly. Only warmer, he added, after a long thought. What's warmer? the t'other side of the wood where Hee-Haw's house is. My house? Said Hee-Haw. My house is here. No, said wee Grumpy stiffly. The t'other side of the wood. But I should ken. Come over and have a look, wee Grumpy said, and he led them way. There would not a twee houses, said Pooh. No, say close together. They come round the wood, and there was Hee-Haw's house, looking a caution a being on a thing. There ye were, said wee Grumpy. Outen in, and Ben, said Pooh with pride. Hee-Haw gaed in Ben, and came back out again. It's an awkward thing, he said. It is my house, and I beg it where I said I did. Say, the wind must have blown it here, and the wind blew it right over the weeds, and blew it on here, and here it is good as it was. It was as good as it ever was. In fact, better in parts. A sicht better, said Pooh and wee Grumpy together. It just shows what can be done if you turn your thumb a bitty, said Hee-Haw. Did ye see, Pooh? Did ye see, wee Grumpy? Brains first, saying dar the trackle. And now here you see. Nice picture. There you are. Let's have a listen. See yon's the way to big a house, said Hee-Haw proudly. Say, they left him to it, and Christopher Robin gaed back into his dinner with his friends Pooh and wee Grumpy, and all the way they told him all the awful mishunter they had made. And after he'd finished laughing, they all sung the Out in a Boot song for snowy weather, and the rest of the road home. Wee Grumpy, we say no just share o' his voice pitting in the tiddly palms yins mere. And I ken it seems easy, said wee Grumpy into himself. But it's no anybody that could do it. Not just anybody. And that's it. It goes to chapter 2, which I can do another time. So I love doing this. It's so much fun. Alright. So, thanks for having a listen. I really enjoyed that. Bye.